In a shocking turn of events, the Eagles have lost every single starter on their lineup. And now this is all that they are. And the only way they're going to be able to rebuild themselves is by adding these top leaders from random weeks in the NFL. And that is exactly what we are doing today. Because of how many incredible fluke games are in the NFL and how weird the stats are sometimes, I've decided that we're going to spin a wheel of weeks to get a starter for each of these positions to try and make it to the Super Bowl. So I'll show you what we're going to do today. Basically, we're going to shuffle this around and we're going to spin it. This is going to be for our quarterback. Just start it out nice and easy. So for our quarterback, we are going to be taking stats from week 12 of the NFL regular season. And then we are going to go in here, and this is why this can be such a difficult challenge, because our quarterback for the rest of this video is going to be Caleb Williams, who could, honestly, be great, but also could really be bad as he is only a rookie. But I guess, to be fair, anything is better than Kenny Pickett. And just like that, our team is looking a little bit better. But to be honest, it's just not that good. We could have used much better of a quarterback. So let's move over to running back. So we're going to shuffle this up and spin the wheel here. And we're going to hope to actually get a good running back. If we got Saquon Barkley, that would be best case scenario because he is a 99 overall. And we're going to get week 7 stats. Dang, and we actually do get Saquon Barkley, which is absolutely incredible because now we don't have to rely on our pass game so much. Also, it really helps because when we go over to our coach, we have Diane Dabson here, who has the New York Giants offensive playbook and the Jacksonville Jaguars defensive playbook, both of which were randomized. And the Giants playbook has a lot of runs. Wow, can you imagine Saquon Barkley on the Eagles? That would be truly something special, wouldn't it? He would rush for like 2,000 yards. All right, so next up, let's move to our wide receivers, and we're going to do 2 of them, one because of the wide receiver 1 slot and one for the wide receiver 2 slot. And both these wide receivers are going to be the top 2 headers of this week. Instead of doing 2 different weeks, I feel like it's easier just to do 1 week. By the way, week 18 is on here, which means we could get some third stringers. We're going to go to week 14, though. And we're going to get the Triple Crown winner, Jamar Chase. Along with him, we're going to have Puka Nacua. This is a great start. And so just like that, the Eagles are already looking back to their true selves, as Jamar Chase is only 2 points higher than A.J. Brown, and Puka Nacua is only 1 point higher than Devontae Smith. So next up, we'll move on to our offensive line here. And this is where it gets kind of weird because they don't have any stats that are really recorded here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this 3 times. 1 for my tackles, 1 for my guards, and 1 for my center. And then we are going to take the team that had the least amount of sacks and TFLs that week. So our tackles are going to be from week numbers, that could be 10 or 16. Week number 10. Sadly, what I have to do is I have to look up the schedule, go into every individual game, go to stats, and count up the TFLs. Let's see who it is. All right, after going through all these games, it turns out that the New England Patriots let up the least amount of TFLs/sacks with only 1, and it was an allowed sack. All right, so here they are with the update, and I really wish that this was the new New England Patriots, considering this was their starting left tackle. Once again, I am very sad. But Mike Onwenu has at least a nice touch here, so now let's go and spin for our guards. And also, ignore Cam Jurgens. He's not supposed to be in the starting lineup. All right, so our offensive guards are going to have to carry this offensive line. Please give me CC. We get week 5, which could be really cool. By the way, CC is for conference championship because I did add the playoffs on here because the Eagles are in the playoffs, and if I get their guards, then I'm going to be jumping for joy. And I don't know how this happened, but somehow these Chicago Bears let up the least amount of pressure, even though they have a horrible O-line. I guess it's just because it's against Carolina, of all places. So let's go add them to our team, sadly. And these gentlemen honestly look pretty good. Matt Pryor is not incredible, but he could fill in the goal, and then Tevin Jenkins is honestly kind of nasty. And that just leads us to the center. And Cam Jurgens is going to leave. I just forgot to move him. So that means that our center is going to come from, wow, we're going back to week number 10, which means it's just going to be the Patriots again, right? Sadly. Oh, wait, actually, David Andrews is nasty. Yep, it was against the Bears, so I guess we're taking them. I'll just prove it real quick. So here's your evidence. We have the sole sack right here from Jacob Martin out of the Bears. So let's go add David Andrews to the squad. And he looks really good in this lineup, and we only have 1 glaring weakness, which should be fine because this offensive line is really solid. Now, the final part of our offense is going to be the tight end. So I feel like it's just easiest to just do tight end with the most receiving yards. And we're going to go into the playoffs this time, and we're going to take stats from the wild card. And if you look here, the best tight end was TJ Hawkinson with 64 yards. That is disgusting. This is going to be a great squad. So this is going to be your final Philadelphia Eagles offense going to the season. And honestly, it's just a worse version of the Eagles. But now we have to go to the defense, because if they don't have a good defense, then they're not going to be winning. So let's start out with our defensive line. So we'll do both of our defensive ends, and we'll just do the top defensive ends from that week. All right, so this could be really big. Pass rush and Madden simulation is honestly such a big thing, and we're going to get some for our postseason. We're going to get the divisional round. This could be an absolutely gigantic ad here. So we'll do sack from here, and we're going to be getting George Karlaftis and Will Anderson Jr. That is big. All right, so our defensive line is already looking way better. And yes, George Karlaftis is now injured. This game hates me. So next up, let's get ourselves a defensive tackle. Luckily, this is a little bit lower stakes just because this team already has such a good pass rush. And are we going to go 3 for 3 on playoffs? No, but we're going to get week 12. And if you look down here, our leader is DeForest Buckner with 1 sack. And this defensive line is looking great. Just, I don't know why. Will Anderson is a right end. They moved him to left end because George Karlaftis is there. This will all get fixed when we sim. But now let's go up to our linebackers. Let's do our outsides. And for our linebackers, we are going to use this based off of tackles, because that is the most standard defensive unit. Do not give me week 18, because that would mean that we have backups. It's gonna be week 17 though. Okay, well this thing also doesn't recognize inside linebacker from outside linebacker. So we're just gonna do all 4 of our linebackers here. So we're gonna get Tyrell Dodson. We are also gonna get Zaire Franklin, Chandler Wooten, and Pete Werner. This is honestly really balanced in terms of it's good or bad. Wow, so I did not expect to be getting a 56 overall player who's not going to start. All right, so our linebackers are very mediocre. Nakobe Dean at least gets to stay because he is a backup, and I mean, backups get to stay. But it's funny that we didn't get somebody, or we got somebody who wouldn't even be a starter in Tyler Wooten, because he is less than a 60 overall. So now let's move on to our corners. At least we have Cooper DeJean. So this will be interceptions. And just like for wide receivers, we'll just do the top 2 and add them so we have those slots filled out. And we're going to go to week 4. So hopefully there's at least enough interceptions there. Oh, there definitely were. So we are going to be able to get... Wow, this would have been so good for us if we got Kirby Joseph and CJ Gardner-Johnson. But this is corners, not safeties. So we are going to get the pick of the litter between Carrington Valentine, Christian Benford, Drew Phillips, and Akello Witherspoon. I am still just going to add the top 2 overall, and I'll only add 2. So let's just get in there. All right, so here are our cornerbacks. We got Christian Benford and Drew Phillips. Cooper DeJean is such a good cornerback 3, and because he's a backup, we get to keep him there. And let's move on to our final defensive position before getting to special teams, which is going to be safety. Listen, we're doing interceptions for them too, and Kirby Joseph I think he did lead the league in interceptions, but sadly we will not be able to get him because we have the conference championship, which the Lions were booted out of. All right, so there's only 1 interception in that week, and that was Quinyon Mitchell. So I think instead I'm just gonna do total tackles and then do the safeties that lead those. So that's going to be, oh god, Cole Bishop and Jeremy Chin. That might have been our 2 worst options that we could have had. Actually though, Shamari Connor has the same amount, so we can take him. So we're going to go with Shamari Connor and Jeremy Chin for our safeties. So actually we will be getting Cole Bishop because Shamari Connor is a corner in this game, and that's a lot of messing with stuff that I don't want to mess with. Also, Cole is he is a 21-year-old hidden dev player who's 75 overall, so it would be better anyway. So this is our final defense, as long as you move George Karlaftis to right end. And honestly, this is really nasty. So our last part is going to be our kicker and punter. We'll start out with punter, which I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I'm assuming I'm gonna do punt yards, which should work. And for kicker, I'll do total points. So we're gonna do 8. Yeah, so this doesn't have special teams, so I'm gonna have to do my own little research here. So I think what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to do whoever had the longest of week 8. So the longest punt of this week was by the Jacksonville Jaguars punter. So let's add him to the team. And he's looking real good in there. And finally, let's get rid of the kicker. So the final wheel spin. Let's hopefully get something cool here. A great kicker. And this is going to be from week number 5. Very interesting here. I also like that they updated so that the little clicker changes colors. So for this, we are just going to do the most field goals made. So we're going to go ahead and get Harrison Butker, probably one of the best kickers in all of football, on our roster. So here's the completed roster. Our special teams are honestly really good. Our defense is stacked with a bunch of hidden devs as well, which I did not expect to have. No X Factors, though. And then our offense is unbelievable with Saquon Barkley and Jamar Chase, who both had some of the greatest seasons at their respective positions. We have the #1 overall pick, a great wide receiver, too, a great tight end, and a decent offensive line. So let's just see how this team does. I just want to say, I hope that you show your support for this video. It's taken me 2 hours to just create this team, and I haven't even started the really hard stuff. So please be sure to support this. Maybe subscribe, maybe like, and let's just see how this team does. And we're going to play a random regular season game. All right, so to play this game, we have to know a week we are hopping into. So I have all 18 weeks set up right here, and we're going to play the highlights, or we're going to play the moments of whatever game it lands on. Number 15, so we're really going to get to see how this team is doing. All right, so week 15, we are 10-3. That puts us first in the, it puts us first in the division, second in the conference, because Detroit is 11-2. That is insane. Dude, look at the NFC. What is going on? Commanders are 5-8. Vikings are 6-7. Don't make the joke. Bears are 8-5. New Orleans Saints lead their division at 6-7. Don't make the joke. Tampa Bay is 5-8. The Rams are 3-10. What is going on? All right, well, we're gonna play the moments of this game, and then we are going to hop into the final parts of the season to see how this team finishes, because obviously we're probably, hopefully, going to make the playoffs. We have a 1 overall advantage, and of course, we are going to randomize jerseys. Starting off, we'll hop in on a crucial 3rd and 6. We have to stop this team, and honestly, it feels like a millennia since Russell Wilson's been a Steeler. That's open, but we have crazy pass rush. DeForest Buckner is in for the sack, and Russ is going down. And they're going to go ahead and give us this ball because we are backed up to our own 6 on the resulting kickoff. So we just have to make stuff happen. Saquon's going to get a little shifty. I really haven't used Caleb Williams a lot this year, so I think it's going to be interesting to watch him play. And I don't see anything open. Don't get a safety. Oh, we got stopped on the 1. And sadly, there's no deep pass plays. I'm just going to run this with Saquon. We almost had a sack. There was somebody open. I just didn't feel like it was enough. All right. Of course, it's Saquon, so there's always a chance we get more, but we don't. That's not how you want to start it out. And it is now letting me punt. Okay, well, I don't know if that's supposed to mean, but we are, oh my God, we're going to sail this. An absolutely beautiful punt. And he is going to fumble. We have the ball. Rodgers has it. Oh my God. Can you believe it? Hopping into the end zone. Not losing a step. Rodgers after the hit stick fumble on the punt returner. And that is a gigantic play and a way to start it out. Look at that. He just got rattled and then the ball just flew out. Rodgers picked it up and didn't look back. And now we're going to hop into it there in the red zone. It is 1st and 10. We're bringing a 4-man rush, some zone drops, just because this pass rush is so good already. He's going to fly out. Drew Phillips, incompletion. All right, 2nd and 10 now. Russ is going to look to fire into the end zone. Gets hit. 3rd and 10. So we just brought them to a 3rd and 10 here after 2 incomplete passes. Russ is going to look to shoot in the end zone. We just have to stop him from doing that. And I actually just got DPI on a sack. I just misjudged my depth perception and I just got a crucial penalty. Well, all we can do now is just stop them from capitalizing on this big mistake. I didn't mean to do it, but it just happened. My depth perception was off, and we just got... Oh, wait, that's got to be a holding. What? Hunt didn't get him, touched his toes, but nothing else. And Russ is going to scramble in unless it goes back. That must have been a holding. Yep, they're showing an offensive lineman. Give me that ball. Come on, old man Russ. You got to make a mistake at some point. Another gigantic hit. The more that we go through this season, the team should just get better and better, considering even though... Well, we have a bunch of hidden dev people, and even outside of that, we have a bunch of guys who are younger. A big hit out of Pete Werner, one of those guys. All right, 3rd and goal from the 7. What I was saying is, I think, a big testament to how the NFL is today, with all these young guys dominating. We have to prove it by not letting Mike Williams get in. Guys, okay, they might go for this. And the answer is they will not, so we will block. We'll attempt to block the field goal. And look who is there, Isaiah Rodgers. I don't think that's Isaiah Rodgers. He's not going to get it, but he's been nasty. 7-3 at the 2-minute warning. They're going to let us take over here, I think. Yup, and they will. We're going to get this whole drive to try and score. All right, only our 2nd. Look at this offense. A gigantic blitz. Cole Holcomb just was unblocked. And they're immediately calling for us to run it out. Wow. That is disappointing. I thought I'd get more than one chance to try and move this ball downfield. I'm going to see if I can get more, but Patrick Queen wraps us up, and that's going to probably do it. For these challenges, I only use Coach Suggested because I think it makes it most realistic to what the game actually would be. In these other series, I like to use my own plays, but in these, it's just better for realism. And this is a scary game. So they're actually going to give us the punt again, which we are, oh my. Logan Cook he just put a rocket launcher on his foot. Drew Phillips, can he recreate it? He can grab it. No, he got it back up. I don't know who that is. That Calvin Austin, but that's 2 forced fumbles. So I'll hop in here at a 3rd and 4. Nothing that I've done so far for this offense has been good. My defense has been honestly pretty nasty. But this offense just hasn't been running, and wow, this offensive line is really disappointing. Not even able to get a slip screen off. Oh boy, and they have me kicking a 56-yarder from the middle of the logo. Harrison Butker. All right, I gotta put full power on this. Risk it. That is up, and there was no way that I was gonna make that. Yeah, there was literally no way that I could have gone harder. So we're gonna hop in here on a 1st and goal on the 6-yard line. I'm blitzing everybody. I do not want Russ to have a second to think here, as he's gonna throw it. Christian Benford, a 360-degree turn, and we have this ball right back on 1st and goal. That is what you like to see. Oh my God, that was a beautiful animation. And they got this ball right back in the 15. I guess Caleb Williams just isn't able to do the job. It might just be that offensive line where we might have an injury there. I can see that being a reason why it's so bad. But this defense is holding up. We've only allowed 6 points, and that's off of 2 field goals. And I mean, I've just seen exactly how lethal we can be, like right there. All right, 3rd and 7. If we could hold them here, it would be gigantic. They would get the lead, but they wouldn't get much of a lead. Deep Cooper to Gene. Another interception for this defense. I should not have taken that out. I thought we had a chance, but they won't get anything right here. Cooper to Gene, a backup who we didn't even acquire through this challenge, is going to get a gigantic play. And we cannot stay on offense, can we? We're here, 3 minutes left. I don't know why we can't move this ball at all. I'm very scared, even though our record is really good. But we're going to see. Wow, that was a big pass out to Calvin Austin. All right, we got to stop them from getting really anything else. And I like how we are playing a big knockout. I would really like to play with this offense, though. I've had, like, what, 3 snaps with them? 3 of them were me getting hit at the sack or being sacked. And that is a gigantic play on 2nd and 10, 3rd and 5. I'm reluctant to take my timeouts yet. Just because, especially if they don't get this, yeah, it's going to be a run right up the middle. They don't get anything here. And they're going to choke this down to 2 minutes. I think I want that. Come on, Rodgers. Let's make another gigantic play here. You are now the best Rodgers in green. Isn't that right? Chris Boswell knocks it through the uprights, and we have 1 minute and 57 seconds, and they better give me control. The only sad thing here is that we're not going to get to use Saquon pretty much at all, because we are going to be passing this ball every time. Come on, Caleb, let's get a little something here. TJ Hawkinson reeling it in there. I think just 4 verts is probably better. We have to get this ball out. TJ Hawkinson again can't catch it that time. We burnt a lot. All right, come on, Caleb. We can put something together here. I'm going to go for the 1st down with Puka Nacua and head out of bounds. And are we really in field goal range already? We are not. I don't know why it's not letting me pass it. In fact, I'm just going to audible here because we are absolutely not. Uh-oh, I just made a pick 6. I just threw a pick 6. I just literally sold the game. Just like that. I just lost it. That's completely my fault. I should have ran it. So, definitely not my best moment. I don't know what happened where they literally didn't let me get a chance on offense. Honestly, I'm gonna blame them for this loss. I'm gonna blame Madden, because if they had let me have the sticks for the offense earlier, then I could have made a good play. I'm not even gonna take my field goal here. We're just gonna let this game end. If Madden 26 gives us one thing, I want it to give us the ability to not watch this cut screen for 5 minutes every time a game ends. They give us the worst, the stupidest cut screens that are all bugs. I need them out. Obviously not what you want to see. It was a Pennsylvania battle. but I think that we are in a position to win the Super Bowl. All right, so we close out the year 12-5. That's going to put us at the 2 seed right behind Detroit. And if you guys are seeing what I'm seeing, we have a non-500 team making the playoffs. This is classic AFC or NFC South moments right now. The Buccaneers went 8-9 and are making the playoffs. Our first game is against the 9-8 Chicago Bears, who have Jalen Hurts, if you remember. And because it's the wild card game, we just sim right past it. Just because it takes long to edit down. And we lost 24-10. Okay. Wow. So that's just going to be it. We were an 87 overall, 88 offense, 87 defense, and we just lost to Chicago against Jalen Hurts. Wow, that is something special. Let's go ahead and look at stats. Oh, offense was 20th in the NFL. Maybe that's just because of the playbook. Defense was top 10. Caleb Williams, 3,300 yards, 27 touchdowns, 18 interceptions, 62%. I mean, he's a rookie, so you can kind of excuse him for that, but his team is so incredibly stacked that that's kind of just an excuse. Ooh, Saquon Barkley, almost 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns, 5.4 average. That is a very nice year for him. Of course, it's nothing like the 2,000 yards he put up the year prior, but hey, it's nothing bad. Jamar Chase had 907 yards and 9 touchdowns. Once again, not a triple crown like he had before, but this has such a stacked roster to spread the ball around to. It also could be because of the playbook. Once again, New York has a horrible offensive playbook. Puka Nacua had 866 yards and 9 touchdowns. Jahan Dotson had 706 yards and 3 touchdowns. Hawkinson had 553 and 1. Oh, wow. Vidarian Lowe, our very horrible offensive lineman, had 17 sacks allowed. That might have led the entirety of the NFL. And that is why we felt so much pressure coming out of that game. 7 were also allowed by Mike Onwenu. 4 were allowed by Matt Pryor. 2 from Nick Gates, but he also missed some games. And 2 from Kevin Jenkins. Pete Werner had 100 tackles, which is nice. He had 108, followed by 78 from Drew Phillips and 74 from Nakobe Dean. Will Anderson Jr., 16 TFLs. You are a monster. DeForest Buckner had 11 TFLs, and Jalen Hunt had 6. 14.5 sacks to DeForest Buckner. This pass rush was more than disgusting. 6 from Will Anderson Jr., 3.5 from Moro Ojimo. 6 picks out of Cooper DeJean. I feel bad that we haven't just because it's a technicality based on a team that we randomized. 5 from Christian Benford, 3 from Werner and Phillips. 13 pass deflections from Christian Benford, a nice little number. 13 from Pete Werner, who had a very good season. 9 from Drew Phillips. 3 forced fumbles out of Drew Phillips, 2 from Pete Werner, and then 1 out of Dean Buckner and Will Anderson Jr. Block kicks out of Pete Werner, DeForest Buckner, Will Anderson Jr., and George Karlaftis. We have a few standout players on this defense, as we can see. We have 0 safeties, and our sole touchdown was from Cooper DeJean. He might be defensive rookie of the year. I think he probably is. Harrison Buckner, aka the guy with the worst profile picture in the entirety of the NFL, had 80% off of 20 attempts, 16 made, a 57 long, 100% from extra point. Not a horrible season. Here are Logan Cook's numbers. I don't know if these are incredible or not, but I should probably start looking at them. Ha! It was Isaiah Rodgers. Oh my god, I was right about this. I thought I was wrong. He was so big for us. So we're just gonna sim to the end of the season and see how everybody finished. The Packers beat the Jets of all people in the Super Bowl, 31-25. Jordan Love won Super Bowl MVP. NFL MVP was Patrick Mahomes. Coach of the year was Jeff Ulbrich. Heck yeah, dude. They had an unbelievable season. I don't know how that happened. I have to look at their stats. Offensive player of the year is Cooper Kupp. Defensive player of the year, Aiden Hutchinson. What a shocker. Defensive rookie of the year was Devon Vele. And defensive rookie of the year was Quinion Mitchell on the Bills. Wow, I thought it was to DeJean, but it's from his former teammate. That is crazy. But what happened with the Jets? Aaron Rodgers had 4,800 yards, 44 touchdowns to 10 picks, 72%. How did this happen? Breece Hall added 1,007. They had 3 1,000-yard receivers with Devontae Adams, Alan Lazard, and Garrett Wilson, who had, by the way, 14 touchdowns and 12 from Alan Lazard of all people. I guess they have chemistry, but how is that possible? They had two 100 plus tacklers. They had Quincy Williams and CJ Mosley. Javon Kinlaw and Jermaine Johnson had 15 and 14 TFLs respectfully. Nothing else here is that crazy. It's just that their pass rush was so insane along with their tackle game. Wow. Also, I want to point out that 2 of the 3 interception leaders were people that we traded away, and Darius Slay and Quinion Mitchell. The Eagles are such a super team. But that will do it for the video, everybody. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe. Maybe next time this team can build a better playoff performance. We'll do this next year because it'll be totally different stats. So goodbye.